Hey, and welcome back to the channel, everybody. How are you all doing? In today's video, I'm going to take you through how to set up your Sabertooth 2x32s, how to get software installed for that, and how to set up the dip switches. And then we're going to have a look at how to install our sketches, SMC3 Utilities, and for the Energy360 boards onto our Arduinos to get everything working for our motion sim.
Let's have a look at the dip switches. Now these are tiny, all right? I'll try and get these in focus. These are very small and they're labelled 1 to 6. And you'll see in the top right corner there near this big capacitor, hopefully you can see the on. Under that yellow cellophane tape, which I haven't quite completely removed, it can be a bit tricky to get that off. I got a little needle to get that off. I really can't describe how small this dip switch is. You'll find out when you get the unit. You need to get that tape off. You can see dip switches 1 and 2 there. So they're set into the off position. All right, so when they're down closest to the numbers, they're off. Then you've got 3 through to 6, which all need to be turned on. So 3 needs to be in the on position. This basically sets it up so then the Sabertooth is going to use power supply mode, not a battery mode. 4 gets put into the on position. That enables the packet plain text serial mode, which is what we're using in the Arduino sketch. 5 in the on position sets us up for a 128 address, and the number 6 dip switch into the on position sets this up to use with an emergency brake, which is what we are using. So that's how the dip switches need to be configured. 1 and 2 off, 3 through to 6 all in the on position. So what I'll do now is I'll take you through how we set up the Sabertooth 2x32 and the software. And you want to do this before you install it into whatever case it is that you're going to hold all your electronics. It's just going to be easier to plug this into your computer, because that's what we need to do via the little micro USB port here. All right, we plug this into our computer. We need to get the dimension engineering software. Let's go through that now, and I'll show you the changes that need to be made to set this up to use.
First thing you want to do is use your search engine of choice and put in dimension engineering. Hopefully it'll be the first cab off the rank like this has come up for me. Click on that. Rightio, in the motor drivers list here, click on Sabertooth 2x32. Scroll down to the bottom. You can grab as many of these docs or whatever that you like. The Describe PC software, you need to download those. Once you've downloaded the Describe PC software, you'll need to open that, run the exe and get it running. It'll install a shortcut on the desktop for you. Here is our shortcut. Plug in the 2x32 via the mini USB port to a USB port on your computer. So plug one end into your PC, the other end into the Sabertooth, and you'll get some flashing lights here to indicate that it's connected to your PC. Double click on your Describe software. We'll come up here to our Sabertooth selection here. All right, let's make sure we've got the 2x32 selected. That's very important. This is going to open a bunch of different tabs for us here. Come along here to serial and USB. Now this hasn't been set up yet, and this is what we need to set up. So baud rate here, very important. We need to set this up to 115,200. Plain text serial address can stay at 1 and 2, and timeout serial here needs to be set to 100 milliseconds. Now to do that, we need to use 0.1. That is 100 milliseconds, 0.1. Okay, next thing we want to look at here is power outputs. Okay, we're going to click on this tab, and this is already set up in voltage clamp. All right, and that's what we want to set up. Okay, we're using the resistor bank in the Energy360 boards to capture the regen energy that's going to come from our sim. So we want to make sure we activate that circuit in the Sabertooth. So you're going to make sure that you select voltage clamp on both sides of the Sabertooth, and just leave max voltage in automatic. All right, so if you change this slider, you can set up what you think basically the return voltage is going to be, but the Sabertooth will detect whatever voltage comes in if you leave this in automatic, and it'll automatically engage the clamping circuit. So you don't really need to fiddle with that. Guys, that's all really you need to do to set this up. Power outputs and serial and USB is all that needs to be set up. Then what you need to do once they're set up is come up to this tab here and upload these settings we've just made into the Sabertooth. So you'll just click on this and it will upload into the Sabertooth. So you've just set the Sabertooth up to work with your motion sim. It's as simple as that with the Sabertooth.
So you can see here, I have got my Arduino Uno R3 here and I've got it plugged in and it's plugged into my computer, okay? You can see the little green light. Hopefully you can see this little green light here indicating that it is connected to my PC. We need to get the SMC3 Utilities sketch onto this Arduino and we need to get the Energy360 sketch onto this Arduino. Now before you're going to be able to do that, you're going to need the Arduino IDE driver set to be able to connect to the Arduino Uno R3. How do we do this?
Well, you'll fire up your search engine of choice and you're going to type in Arduino IDE. Arduino IDE, you'll click on that. Once you're in here, you need to click on download here. Arduino Uno IDE 2.3.8. Select what your operating system is, okay, and then hit download. This is the driver you're downloading to work with your Arduino Uno R3 or any other Arduino for that matter. Once this is downloaded, you will double click on this. Now I already have this installed, but mine is an older version. So by me doing this now, I'm going to be updating my Arduino IDE. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug my Uno R3 while I do this because I don't want that plugged in while I'm downloading the software for this. This does and can take a little while to download, so you just need to be patient. Okay, once it's installed, click Run Arduino IDE and hit Finish. This can also take a little while for this to do its thing. There we go. All right, now we are weapons free. We can plug in our Arduino Uno R3. Let's plug that in. Okay, my USB has plugged in. Windows has acknowledged that. I've got the little green light here on the Arduino. It's connected. Now what we've got to find is the SMC3 Utilities sketch. This can be found at xsimulator.net. You can see here I've done a search earlier. I just put in a search for Rufus Doofus 3DOF Motion Sim xsimulator.net, that should say. Doesn't really matter, but that's what it's meant to be. Okay, that brings us up to resources from Rufus Doofus. If you click on this, and if you click on this one here, and if you click on this one here, it brings you into the page where we can get the SMC3 Utilities sketch to put on the Arduino. So scroll all the way down on this page. Guys, go through this whole page, read it, get an understanding of what this all does. This is what I did initially when I first set up my motion sim before I was using the Energy360 boards. When I did my own wiring and got my motion sim working, I had to read through all of this stuff and get an understanding of what I was doing, okay? That's important. I mean, sure, you can monkey see and monkey do what I'm doing today, but it's always handy to have a bit of an understanding of what it is that you're actually doing. So under this graph here for potentiometers, all right, we are going to download SMC3 version 0.7 zip, all right? You're going to download that. Now, I have downloaded this already. There it is, okay? So download that, open it, double click on this. Now you'll get this message saying the file SMC3 Inno needs to be inside a sketch folder named SMC3. Create this folder, move the file and continue. So you need to do this, guys, or you can't open the sketch, all right? So you just click OK. Decide where you want to create the folder. For skits and giggles, I'm going to do it just on my desktop and I'm just calling it SMC3. Now you've created the folder, come back to your downloads, all right? Open this, copy this, all right? copy it into that folder. Now that you've copied it into that folder, you can double click on this. It'll open the Arduino IDE, and voila, there is our sketch. You want to leave it on mode 1 here, all right? Set to mode 1 for use with a typical H-bridge that requires pulse width modulation and 1 or 2 direction inputs. That is what our Sabertooth does in spades. If you were using IBT2s, for example, which I have been using previously, for this particular Arduino, you would need to select mode 2. You would need to click on that. You would need to backspace and add 2 and compile and upload the sketch. But this is all Sabertooth. I'm leaving it on mode 1. That's what I need. Now I need to select the board. All right. Now, if I do the select board drop-down menu here, it's telling me that there's an Arduino Uno in COM port 9. To confirm that is the case, and I'm sure it is because that's the only Arduino I've got plugged in to this PC, but if you had both of your Arduinos plugged in, for example, and you're not sure which Arduino is which here, so I do recommend that you set up the sketches for your Arduinos one at a time, only have one plugged in at a time, and it will just save a lot of confusion, okay? If for some reason you are like the doc here, using only one board with a caps bank, you don't need the same sketch for both boards, or you need to make changes to one of the sketches versus the other sketch. Do one at a time, it'll just save any ambiguity. Now, to confirm that indeed that is the Arduino and it's in COM port 9, come down to your search bar, type in Device Manager, click on Device Manager, come up to Ports, COM and LPT, drop that down. You can see here that my PC is seeing that I have an Arduino Uno plugged in, and it is indeed in COM port 9. So that confirms that this is the Arduino that we see here, okay? All right, now we'll select that. Got to select that. All right, now come to the little arrow here and let's upload this sketch into the Arduino. We should see some lights happening on the Arduino when we upload the sketch. Yep. And that is successfully compiled and uploaded. All right, that's all you have to do. You can see here, all right, no errors, etc. So SMC3 is successfully uploaded into the Arduino. Now what we've got to do, we'll just minimize that. We'll leave it open. Now it's got to be the same deal here, guys. We're going to need to create a folder on the desktop for our next sketch, and that is going to be from the Together We Build Motion Sims Discord server, the Discord server the doc set up. So I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. This is where you will find the link, though I will include this link, of course, in the description of this video. You'll click on the link, guys. It'll bring you to the Discord server. Join the Dr ADHD Together We Build Motion Sims Discord server. You will come down to channels towards the bottom of the channel and find Energy360 Docs Sketch, all right? Click on that and it will open up this wonderful world of information for you. This is all about the Energy360 boards, everything that you need to know about what you're doing, including a little bit of a breakdown demystifying SMC3 Utilities that Martin has gone through to give you a little bit of a heads up of what SMC3 Utilities is doing. Scroll right down to the very bottom. At this stage, this is the latest sketch that I've worked together with Martin to get working. Right, then click on the little 3 dots, hit download. Right, let's minimize that now. That's been downloaded. I'm going to open my downloads. I'm going to create a folder. So before I do that, I'm going to come onto my desktop folder. I'm just going to leave that there. Double click on this, the Energy360 version 1 here. I'm going to click rename. And I'm going to click copy over the top of that, not do anything else. All right, I don't want to change it. Come back to my new folder here, say rename, paste that, close that, drag this into that folder. Right, you've got to create a folder so it's on your computer in a folder before you can open this to run to your Arduino. Double click on it, Now it'll open this without any dramas and you'll see the sketch. Okay, similar to what we just did with SMC3 Utilities, let's scroll down a little bit. Now there's a few things in this sketch here that you may or may not need to change depending on whether you have caps banks and whether or not you have 360-degree pots or 180-degree pots. And also if you need to enable wind, etc. Okay, with this. For me, I'm not running wind at the moment, but I am using a caps bank on one of my boards, as already mentioned. So if this Arduino relates to the caps board, I would need to change this here. Okay, so if this Arduino is going to be on the board that is connected to my capacitors, I would need to change that 0 to 1 so that I can activate my capacitor bank. With my potentiometers, they are indeed 360-degree pots, okay? They are pots that run in a 360-degree radius. So what Martin's done is he's changed some of the parameters for people using 360-degree pots so it works properly in SMC3 Utilities. So I would also enable 360 pots by highlighting that and clicking on 1. Now it's already done for me, I don't need to change that. If you're using 180-degree pots, for example, and you find this on 1, you would need to set that to 0, okay? Because the sketch as it is set up for 180-degree pots with this placed on 0, but if you have 360-degree pots, set this up on 1. So once you've done that, guys, it's the same deal as what we just did before. We simply make those changes, enable the caps bank, enable 360-degree pots if that's what you got, enable your wind, etc. if you need to do that. So once you've set that all up, how you need to set it up, you need to select the board and come over to your arrow again, and we'll upload this again to the Arduino. You can see the lights on the Arduino, taking the sketch, done uploading. No errors, etc. It's successfully uploaded to the Arduino. They're the steps you go through, guys, to set up your Sabertooth and to get the sketches on your Arduino Uno R3s. Thanks for tuning in. If this has been helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until I see you in the next one, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and take it easy out there.